So let's talk about moving faster, living better. And I want to debunk the back pain myth after 50. But before I go into that, I am going to say, if you legitimately have back problems, then you want to go and get them checked out so you know what you're dealing with, rather than just assuming that it's nothing, and then take the medical professional's advice on what to do here.
Yes. Or not assuming that it's just nothing, adding to that, or blaming the exercises that you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Good point. But I think one of the things is, as we age, it's quite common that we will have some degree of discomfort in our back or some level of degeneration. Now, I know that I have that, so I have to work very hard on staying upright, using my core, and being aware of my body. And I know that because of the exercises that we do, I rarely have any discomfort through my back. And if I do, it's probably something stupid that I've done around the house, like, moving some hulking great big piece of furniture or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think the first aspect that I want to talk about with this cell is this mindset shift. Instead of telling ourselves that, I've got this back pain all the time, that firstly we understand what it is. If it is degeneration, or if it is, a little bit of arthritis, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't do something. We should do something, and we need to understand that movement is medicine. So I know if I was sitting at my desk all day and I didn't get up and move, my knees are stiff and they start to have that dull ache in them. So I know that if I get up and I move around on a regular basis, even if that is, going outside for a walk, or maybe it's running around with a vacuum cleaner or something like that, I know that my knees are definitely freer, feel better.
Yes.
So the same rule applies to your back. So the next part of this is pain doesn't necessarily mean damage. It just means discomfort. So it's identifying that difference between real pain, real issue, and some level of discomfort. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Difference between pain and soreness, pain and tightness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I remember when Paul was in hospital, he kept on saying, I've got this, pain in his thumb. But it was just simply that he hadn't moved it in like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just tightness. Yeah. It's always important with anything that you start slow and you progress from that. So that's part of this mindset shift that we're talking about. Don't go in, go guns a-blazing, boom, boom, boom. Take your time with it. That way you will get stronger.
Yeah.
I think this fear of moving quicker is a fear response that we have as well too. We think that it's going to cause us injury if we move quicker. And it is
more damage.
Yes, or damage. Yeah, absolutely.
More damage.
Yeah, or more damage. Yeah, that's right. So as long as we're taking the time to make sure our body is prepared by warming it up, then we should be good to go.
Yeah.
The other aspect of it is that we want to take advantage of momentum as well too. So when you're moving faster, you get that little bit of, flow happening.
Yeah.
And that can be a good thing as well.
Yeah.
So listening to our body rather than our fears is really important. And it's one of the things that in our group session yesterday, I think it was, we were getting to the end of a period that we were working through, a time section. Mm-hmm. And I could hear the grunts and the groans. But what I could also see is the weights coming down, or, you know, being put down on the ground, or the likes. And I've just gone, stop thinking, get out of your head and stop thinking about how much this is difficult for you. Think about your breath. Think about being engaged with your body. Think about the push or the pull, whatever it is that you happen to be doing at that point. Focus on that rather than, is this going to be over soon? And this is hurting.
Yeah.
Complete change when they stopped thinking about it and they just did it. I think the other thing is that what happens is, as we work through this, we are going to build confidence the more we practice it. So I would say the next part of this cell would be a skill upgrade. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So you want to focus on the skills that you have and, you know, maybe have some education in moving that little bit better. So that could be learning what the core is, learning how to engage your core. Because I think that one of the things that we see with this lower back discomfort during our training sessions is just simply that the core is not engaged. You know, we see people leaning forward, they're not upright in their bodies, you know, so on.
Not coming out of reps. I see that so often in deadlifts, not coming out of reps.
Yeah.
And that has an impact.
Yeah, totally.
On your lower back.
Yeah, that's right. And then the next part of the skill improvement would be focusing on proper lifting techniques. Yeah. And maintaining that good posture, which goes hand in hand with this core engagement, and making sure you warm up properly. So if you upgrade your skills in these 4 areas and you think about those and practice those, then life gets easier when you're doing your fitness sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important too to remember, if you do have a back injury and you are seeing a physio, do your physio work.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
We see it so often in our sessions where people are seeing a physio 1 day a week. Have you done the exercises? No. You know,
that's
and
right.
they've been prescribed to do these, you know, these exercises 2-3 times a week. And they haven't even touched them. So it's so important. You know, and you've got to ask yourself, what do I want to live with? Do I just want to live with a bad back and complain about it nonstop every day? Or do I want it to improve?
Yeah. You know, one of the things that reminds me of is my mum, when I was younger, had frozen shoulder, right? And she ended up having something or other done to this shoulder. And the physiotherapist actually did, and she often talks about this, said, here's your exercises to do, but no one ever does them. And she said, no, I want to be able to move my shoulder and I want to be able to do all these things. And she actually did. And she has got like great range in her shoulder. She hasn't got much else other than that, you know, because she does, you know, she's getting older and she doesn't move more and she's, you know, obese and all that type of stuff. But yeah, she can move her shoulders.
Yeah. And see, myself as a 13-year-old, I dislocated my right elbow.
Yeah.
And I had physio exercises. Then I remember sitting there crying, telling Mum, I'm not doing them. They hurt too much. I'm not doing them. And now I can't straighten my arm properly because I didn't do my physio exercises. Yeah.
Oh, we've all got the war wound stories, don't we?
Yeah.
One of the ladies actually said to me the other day, because we were doing some squats and deep squats or something, and I, you know, had the rolled up yoga mat underneath, you know, for that little bit of elevation with my ankles. She said, you know, I remember the day you did that, Peter. She said, we were doing a charity event and it was a 2-hour session doing different types of things. And you went over in that first 5 minutes and you went, oh, I saw your face, but you kept on going for that whole time. And I said, yeah. And I went and had it checked out. And they said, you know, it was a strain just to do this. But it turns out that it was broken.
Yeah.
And that didn't get picked up till later on down the track. So
yeah.
So what exercises would you tell someone to do in regards to, you know, improving stability and core engagement?
Squat.
Yes,
straight up squat.
Yeah.
It's an easy exercise to learn,
yeah,
but then it's also an exercise that has all those factors included. You know,
yes,
you have to engage your core. You have to breathe through it. It's going to build, you know, that lower back.
Yeah.
It's going to build the strength through your lower back, because you're also working, because we've got to remember the way our bodies are connected, everything is connected.
Yes. Yep.
You know, so you have those ligaments and tendons running from your glutes up through your back.
Oh, absolutely.
So if they're not strong or lengthened, I like to say, lengthened and strengthened, that's going to give you a weak lower back as well, or a weak back. So I think a squat like that would be my pick.
Yeah. And even if you want to scale that back, it could be a sit to stand, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. You could just be sitting here today type of thing and go, okay, I'm going to stand up. I want to focus on pushing through my heels. I want to make sure that I'm drawing my belly button in and up, that I've got that nice strong posture. But it doesn't mean I have to sit upright to do it. I lean forward, you know, and push into it and up.
Yeah.
And I think, Sal, that, you know, those standard things that we get told to do for core engagement, such as, you know, planks, bird dogs, you know, dead bugs, you know, all of those things, they're great as well. But if I think about, you know, some of the ladies with their sore backs, is that the last thing they want to do is probably get on the ground.
Yeah.
So that sit to stand is a great place to actually start with it. Yeah. And, you know, I think about, Julie was telling me the other day, they had a big delivery come in. She used to always have that sore lower back. It was just constant. She could hardly move. And now, since she's been working out with us and you know, focusing on the foundations, she said this big delivery came in. It was a great big box. It was 25 kilos. She said, my boss came out and said, I'll lift that for you, Jules. And she said, no, I can get it. And he said, no, I'll get it for you. And she said, no, I can get it. She said, and here I am. I got down, picked it up, no problems whatsoever, was thinking about using my legs, you know, core engagement, thinking about everything that I learned, and my back doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So movement is medicine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, Sal, anything that you want to finish up with in regards to lower back?
I think it's just important to find out, is it just sore or is it pain? Knowing the difference between that. You know, it's too often that we have people say, I can't do that because I've got a sore lower back.
Yeah.
But is it just weak? So it's very important to acknowledge the difference between that.
Yeah. You know, one of the funny things that happened the other morning was I normally sleep with, you know, I sleep on my side, but I usually sleep stretched out because it's just one of the things that I started to do because I found myself up in that little ball all the time. And it was like, no, I need to stretch my body out. And I said to Roz, can I ask you a question? Because she always has that sore lower back. And she said, yeah. And I said, do you sleep in that fetal position, you know, the legs up and, you know, that little rounded ball? And she said, I do. And I said, I'm going to challenge you. Try and stretch your body out and see what happens with your back. Because if you think about that little ball, you're just rounding, aren't you? And where's the pressure? It's down there on that lower
back.
Yeah. And so I thought, is there a connection here? I think so.
Yeah. And another one is sleeping on your side with, you know, with that top leg over the bottom leg.
Yes.
So that bottom leg straight, top legs bent. I sleep that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with my arm under my pillow.
Yeah, and then you wake up and you've got a sore arm, dead arm.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I think to finish up, we really want to say, don't let fear of your back pain hold you back. Make sure that you've got that proper mindset, that you get it in the right place, that you understand the techniques that you need, focus on your stability, your core engagement exercise, and basically just get out there and get active and keep practicing, because it will definitely get better the more you keep moving. Thanks for joining me, Sel.
Thanks for having me as always.
You're welcome. All right. See you soon. See you, ladies.
Bye, guys.
Bye.